In today's review of Synergy, we ask the question, can stunning visuals make up for subpar gameplay in a cozy city building game? It's a tough one, as in this city builder, you're trying to turn a small group of homeless people stuck in this hostile environment into a thriving and prosperous climate-friendly city, exploring and researching along the way, all in beautifully designed buildings and landscapes. So if you're a fan of die-hard survival city builders, you'll want to look elsewhere. But there may be a few of you out there that may enjoy it for other reasons, which I'll get into later in the video, as it's currently sitting at a mostly positive rating on Steam. Therefore, as a big-time city builder fan, I wanted to dive into Synergy and help guide you to see if it's worth your hard-earned time and money, or should you skip it for something with more substance. This is Marco here from Easily Distracted Games, helping you find new or old games for you to get lost in. So let's get started with today's new video. So as mentioned, Synergy is a cozy city builder with a static isometric design and stunning visuals. Like many city builders out there, you'll need to gather resources, expand your city with new citizens, and grow your city into a thriving metropolis. However, some interesting elements were thrown in it to make it slightly more enjoyable. For example, you'll need to explore your environment by going on expeditions and analyze your ecosystem to see what everything is made from. First thing that everyone will notice is its visual design. Heavily inspired by the French artist and cartoonist Jean Giraud, aka Moebius, who also contributed storyboards and concept designs to numerous science fiction and fantasy films. It's not often visuals catch me off guard, but this cartoon-like design with its soft pastels and the hard outlines, it's just something that's not often seen in gaming, and it looks amazing. You start the game as humans, immersed in this strange, mesmerizing yet unforgiving environment. Your citizens have no clue what's going on here, so your goal is to build up a city and help them prosper. You'll have to educate them to see what plants they can and can't eat, technology to unlock, to improve living conditions, and to make them live a happy, cultured life. Yes, analyzing your environment is vital for success. Like, just picture yourself being lost in the jungle for some time. I'd have no idea what I could and couldn't eat. Like, is that dangerous? I don't know. Well, the same is true here. Building a field lab here will help you uncover in-depth details into the plants around you. The better your knowledge base, the easier it'll be to thrive in this harsh climate. When it comes to expansion, you'll have a tech tree with a number of items to research and upgrade. Everything will require certain materials or even a certain cultural level to upgrade. You can choose which path to go down, say science, culture, food, and more. The quest for knowledge also unlocks several new buildings for you. From extraction structures to social spaces, from harvesting points to cultural buildings. Each new construction and discovery plays a crucial role in shaping your city's development. Now, expanding your city doesn't just mean throwing some random buildings together. You'll be able to construct up to 9 different districts, each with these unique features by strategically placing your buildings around various squares. Here you can leverage the powerful bonuses specific to each of these districts to help promote your city's growth and overall citizen well-being. One last thing is that exploration is crucial in Synergy. Gathering your citizens and sending them on their way from the city in search for clues about who's out there or what's out there and what secrets can be unlocked. You might find some new people to join you, plants to take back to your city, or dangers that could potentially harm your explorers. The choice all comes down to you. So before I jump into what I really enjoyed and didn't enjoy about this game, I'll just be breaking down some gameplay mechanics for you. Well, for those familiar with city builders might feel right at home, as it plays very much like the rest of them, albeit with some interesting features thrown into the mix. When it comes to the UI, everything is laid out in a very user-friendly manner, and I loved how tactile and detailed everything was when you hover over it. There's this massive score at the top, which is an indication of how well your city is doing, but there's also tons of other stats neatly arranged at the top and bottom of the screen. When you start off, your city will have nothing. It'll have the bare minimum, and you'll need to start building houses for your citizens to sleep, warehouses and cellars to store your goods, as well as some pontoons and purification basins to convert that toxic water into something more drinkable, Nestle style. Collecting resources is interesting. You might straight up just rip things out of the ground like rocky amalgams for stone or some plants to harvest their resources. But once you've got your picking cabin going, you can then start picking or even trimming plants as well, helping to maintain their survival. However, some plants can cause harm to your inhabitants, so building a field lab to analyze everything around you is pretty important. Very quickly, you'll want to unlock items in your tech tree. which includes both technological and cultural research. Now, as interesting as this mechanic is, it becomes a bit confusing when it shows you in the bottom of the corner that you have available research, but because the tech tree and the culture research tree are parts of the same tree, it's very hard to identify what you can and can't unlock, resulting in random clicks trying to see what's available, but I get the idea. You can also find tablets during your expeditions to help upgrade these items. With its 6 branches though, you'll be unlocking almost everything within a few hours of gameplay. I know this is still early access, but I'm hoping for some more research to be included in the future. About 2 hours into the game, you'll have a kitchen for basic meals, an infirmary for healing the sick and injured, and perhaps a forge to craft your own tools. However, you can't survive on these alone. And once you have an explorer's hut, you can start to round up some explorers and start venturing off into the unknown. You can choose how many people can be sent away, and they'll generally be gone for 5 to 10 days. Once you arrive at your destination, the game may give you some choices to make with this risk versus reward layout. There's no audio or cutscenes, it's just a bunch of text boxes and images. I did enjoy sending the people out, curious as to what they may find, but I was often left a bit disappointed, I'll be honest. And because everything is text-based, if something bad happens, there's no real gravitas in your actions. Sure, someone in your team may go missing or get injured, but to me it just felt like I was going through the motions to bring back more gear. The game tries to unlock more of the story here, but it just didn't pull me in as much as I would have wanted. There are also seasons in the game, but it's mostly just standard temperate weather with some intense periods where the risk of heat stroke is extremely high. And that's the extent to the dangers you'll face. There's no wild animals or other settlements trying to raid your city. I guess the devs wanted their game to fall into the relaxed side of the city building genre, and that definitely can be seen here. Building your city will naturally be where you spend most of your time though. Now, I really love city builders, and I always enjoy making my city look and feel like a real world place. Well, I try to. Apart from the important buildings like storage and other resource gathering buildings, there's also decorative items that you can just place down anywhere you want. I never really struggled with building anything here, as most times managing my population and their effectiveness simply meant decreasing allotments in some structures and spreading them out evenly into others. Overall, the mechanics are strong and well developed, but the gameplay I felt is lacking in the enjoyment department. But I'll get to the pros and cons shortly. Moving on to the graphics, Synergy's UI is really top notch here. I love the tactile feel of everything and just how easy it was to navigate and view your various resources. And of course, the visual style of all the buildings and the ecosystem is incredible. For brief moments, I'd just be staring at some of the buildings, seeing the people inside. It does such a great job at creating the feeling like you're in this wild, hostile environment. And obviously with these kind of visuals, it'll mean most PCs will be able to run this game on medium to high graphics, with my i5 laptop running it very smoothly, with the only occasional lag during when I had to remove long pieces of roads. It just kind of froze for a bit, but that was about it. In terms of audio, the soundscapes give that impression that you're really on this distant land, with the calm and relaxing music that aids to the overall feel of this game. There's no voice acting or anything like that, so just be prepared to be reading everything that comes your way. Synergy is currently sitting at a mostly positive on Steam, going for around $23 with that 10% discount. Now, I'd say that's quite a big put-off for me, but I'll break down the parts of the game I truly enjoyed, as well as those that left a sour taste in my mouth. So looking at the pros, the strongest element in this game for me is definitely its visual appeal. I'll constantly find myself observing some of the buildings and just seeing how they operate. I'd be like, that's really cool, I like how it opens and closes, or whatever. The game is beautiful, so props to the graphic designers who are part of the development of this game. Even subtle things like how there's these little dot patterns in the corners of the screen all help pull in this sense of good design, and same goes with all the little menus and pop-ups. It's just done really well. Another thing I really enjoyed was building new structures, and that was quite fun for me, and the challenge of getting everything to run with maximum efficiency and effectiveness was sometimes pretty tricky. This usually meant rearranging some buildings, but I enjoyed trying to get my place to look less cookie cutter like and just more like an actual city. Now for me, city building games need a lot to set it apart from being just build this, unlock this, make your city bigger, build more structures, and so on. And to me, this was the game's biggest downfall. After you've unlocked the essentials, the gameplay starts to feel a bit repetitive and slightly boring. Without any major risks, besides the occasional heat stroke here and there, you're left with trying to build this city up into something great. However, as you can see here, I don't know, my city just felt a bit lifeless. Even with around 70 citizens and various building types, if I just zoom in here or even zoom out and just pause for a moment, it didn't give me this feeling of a living, breathing city. Synergy for me also felt like a very short game. As mentioned, at around 9 hours, I felt like I had unlocked almost everything and explored almost every region. And in terms of replayability, well, it just didn't have enough to keep me coming back. Once you've explored all the regions, unlocked all the tech tree items, there's not that much to do here. So in the end, Synergy is a city builder designed for people not wanting an intense challenge, but rather to sit back and enjoy the beautiful visuals and relaxing music. But is it worth that $23 price tag? Well, for me personally, I wouldn't recommend this game, as even people wanting a cozy city builder might find more enjoyment from Fabledom or Timberborn, or maybe even Summerhouse, who knows. Synergy does come with many unique and interesting features that do keep the game interesting, but its biggest hurdle is making your city just feel alive. That, combined with its slightly short campaign, means people wanting something long-term will be slightly disappointed, but do keep in mind that it's still early access, so perhaps revisit it for its 1.0 release or when it's on a very good sale. So that wraps up today's video. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section below, or even subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. But other than that, it's Marco here from Easily Distracted Games, and most of all, don't stop gaming.